Week number 64 of Scott's Weekend Sports today, ladies and gentlemen. I know I keep lying to you guys, telling you that my dad's going to be back, but unfortunately he's not back again today. He's in Tampa today for work, but I guarantee you he will be back next week here on Scott's Weekend Sports. I will make him be here next week on Scott's Weekend Sports. But next week I will have two videos up, one wrestling video and one for the NFL and college football predictions next week. So without further ado, let's get into week number 64's NFL and college football picks right now. So the first game up is the battle for Michigan as number 6 ranked Michigan heads into East Lansing to take on number 24 ranked Michigan State. I will be taking Michigan in this game. Michigan's been playing much better football ever since that first week when they lost to Notre Dame back in week 1. They've been playing much better ever since. So I'll be taking Michigan to get the win here over Michigan State on Saturday in East Lansing. Next up, number 9, Oklahoma heading in to Fort Worth, Texas, and the home field of TCU as they take on the TCU Horned Frogs. I will take Oklahoma on the road. Oklahoma is a very good team. They just have one bad loss to Texas a few weeks ago. So I'll take Oklahoma to get a win and bounce back against TCU on Saturday. Next up, Maryland heading in to Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City to take on the number 19 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes, who have been doing very well this year. I'll be taking Nate Stanley in Iowa. Iowa's been playing very well this year. I was a little bit worried about the Iowa running backs this year, but they've been playing all right. So I'll take the Hawkeyes to find a way to get out of Iowa City on Saturday unscathed and get a win against Maryland with a very good Nate Stanley and a pretty good team. I'll take Iowa to get a win over Maryland. Next up, number 20, Cincinnati heading into Philadelphia and Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Temple Owls. I'll be taking Cincinnati in this game. Cincinnati's been playing great football all year. The Bearcats have been playing great all season long. So I'll be taking the Cincinnati Bearcats to find a way to walk out of Philadelphia with a win and improve to 7-0 on the year. Hopefully they can win a couple more and then get College Game Day here in Orlando for week number 11. So I'll take Cincinnati to keep our hopes alive and take Cincinnati to beat Temple on Saturday. Next up, Illinois heading in to Camp Randall in Madison, Wisconsin to take on the number 23 ranked Wisconsin Badgers. I will be taking the Badgers at home. Wisconsin's had a good season. They just had a bad loss last week to Michigan. So I'll be taking Wisconsin at home. They're going to bounce back after a tough loss against Michigan last week. They'll bounce back and get a win against Illinois on Saturday. Next up, number 1 Alabama heading in to Knoxville and Neyland Stadium to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. Congrats, Tennessee. You got your first win in the SEC in 2 years last week against Auburn, but I don't think it continues here. I'll take Nick Saban and his Alabama Crimson Tide to get a road win here in Knoxville. Tennessee just had a lucky week last week playing against a pretty bad Auburn team, so I'll take Alabama on the road to find a way to get out of Knoxville with a win on Saturday. Next up, probably one of the best games of the day, 3:30 on ABC. It'll be number 16 ranked NC State heading in to Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina to take on Dabo Swinney and his number 3 ranked Clemson Tigers. 2 undefeated teams going against each other this week. But I'm going to take Clemson to find a way to get out of here with a win. Clemson's been playing great football all season. They got lucky a few weeks ago against Syracuse, but I feel like Clemson's going to find a way here to get out of here, with a win on Saturday at home. So I'm going to take Clemson to find a way to get out of this home game with a win, but a very close one. I think NC State's a very good team now. Next up, unranked Colorado. I've been telling you folks that Colorado's been overrated all year long, and USC proved it last week as they head in to Seattle and Husky Stadium to take on number 15 ranked Washington, coming off a tough loss to Oregon last week. I'm going to take Myles Gaskin and Jake Browning to bounce back after that tough loss to the Ducks last week in Eugene. So I'm going to take Washington to bounce back. After a tough loss to Oregon, they're going to bounce back and get a win on Saturday at home. against a very overrated 5-1 Colorado team. Next up, number 18 ranked Penn State heading in to Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana to take on the Indiana Hoosiers. I will take Penn State to bounce back after a loss against Michigan State last week. That virtually eliminates Penn State from the playoff contentions, but I still feel like they can contend for the Big Ten. I'll take Penn State to find a way to win this week against Indiana. So give me Penn State on the road to find a way to win against Indiana on Saturday. Next up, number 22 ranked Mississippi State heading in to Tiger Stadium to take on number 5 ranked LSU. After a big win last week against Georgia, it could be a little bit of a letdown here for LSU. But I'm going to take the Tigers to find a way to walk out of here with a win. LSU's been playing great football all season. So I'll take LSU to beat Mississippi State on Saturday in a close one. Next up, another very interesting game as number 10 ranked UCF didn't move anywhere last week after barely surviving Memphis. I told my dad last week, this is probably one of the ugliest wins I've seen UCF have in quite some time, as we look to bounce back after that rough win week last week. As we head in to Dowdy-Fickens Stadium in Greenville, South Carolina, to take on the 2-win East Carolina Pirate team. I will take UCF on the road. UCF needs to bounce back. And Mike Bianchi said perfectly a few days ago on the Orlando Sentinel, if UCF wants to make the playoff, we've got to start blowing teams out. And I feel like that's exactly what we're going to do this week. UCF wins this one with ease. I think the line is 21 points right now, and I will easily take that. UCF wins this one by 28 and blows East Carolina out this week on the road and goes into the bye week 7-0. Next up, UConn heading into Raymond James Stadium in Tampa to take on the somehow 6-0 and number 21 ranked South Florida. South Florida got so lucky last week. They almost lost to Tulsa last week. Last second field goal gets it done for USF last Friday night. But I don't think it's going to be as tough this week. UConn's probably the worst team in our conference. I'll take South Florida to find a way to win this game. It's not going to be pretty because it has been pretty all year for them. But I'll take USF to find a way to win this game in a close one against UConn. Next up, number 2, Ohio State heading in to take on the Purdue Boilermakers. I will take Ohio State on the road. Urban Meyer's got this team clicking on all cylinders. Ohio State's definitely one of the teams I see in the college football playoff this year. So I'll take Ohio State to bounce back to get a win here and continue to be 8-0 on the year. Give me Ohio State on the road in West Lafayette to get a win over Purdue on Saturday. Next up, the final top 25 game of the week, not including the game of the week, as it will be Vanderbilt coming off a heartbreaking loss last week to Florida as they head into Kroger Field, and Lexington, Kentucky to take on the number 14 ranked Kentucky Wildcats. I know my friend Terry Jewell is probably going to think that I am bad luck for Kentucky because I picked Kentucky a few weeks ago, and they unfortunately lost to Mississippi State a few weeks back. But I'm going to take Kentucky again this week. Vandy is not a very good team. The only reason they are in the SEC, in my opinion, is because of their GPA to get into Vandy. So I'll take Kentucky on the road at home to get a win over Vandy on Saturday and continue to hope maybe win the SEC East this year to get to 6-1 on the year. And now the game of the week, College Game Day will be there tomorrow morning, bright and early, 10 a.m. Eastern. It's either 9 or 10 a.m. I can't remember. As it will be number 12 Oregon heading in to Martin Stadium and Pullman, Washington to take on the number 25 ranked Washington State Cougars. I will take Justin Herbert and the Oregon Ducks coming off a big overtime win last week against Washington. I feel like Oregon's going to keep it going here. So I'm going to take the Ducks on the road to get a win in Pullman on Saturday. And nice and easy win here for the Ducks against the Cougars on Saturday. Now into the NFL predictions for the weekend. Absolutely dominated win last night for the Broncos. They went 49-10 over the Arizona Cardinals last night. But now into the Sunday games. First game out will be the Tennessee Titans and Los Angeles Chargers playing in jolly old England. 9:30 a.m. kickoff. So if you have any Charger or Titan players on your fantasy team, get those lineups ready. before you go to bed on Saturday. So that'll be a 9:30 a.m. kickoff Sunday morning in England. I'm going to take the home Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers to get a win here in England. I feel like the Chargers are a better team than the Titans are. So I'm going to take the Chargers to find a way. Phillip Rivers has been playing great all year. So I'll take Phillip Rivers and the Chargers to find a way to get a win over the Titans on Sunday morning. Now into the 1 p.m. games. First up, Baker Mayfield and his Cleveland Browns head into Tampa and Raymond James Stadium to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a tough one. Thank God we fired Mike Smith. I do not feel bad one bit about firing him last week. I thought we should have fired him last season, to be honest with you. But I'm going to take the Browns, unfortunately. I just feel like our defense is not ready. Baker Mayfield's going to look like the next Peyton Manning or Brett Favre or whatever great quarterback you want to think of, Baker Mayfield probably will look like this week. I'm going to take the Brownies to find a way to win it on Sunday in Tampa. But I hope I'm wrong. I'll take the Browns to get a win on Sunday against the Bucs. Defense is just not good enough yet. I'll take the Browns over the Bucs on Sunday at Raymond James. Next up, the New England Patriots. The Evil Empire coming off a big win last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, head in to Chicago and Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. I will take the New England Patriots to find a way here. The Pats have been playing good football all season long. So I'm going to take the Patriots and Tom Brady to find a way to win this game in Chicago. Should be a great game, but I'll take the Pats to find a way to get a win in Chicago and Soldier Field to get a win over the Bears on Sunday. Next up, the Buffalo Bills heading into Lucas Oil Stadium to take on the Indianapolis Colts. I will take the Colts at home. I don't even know who's starting for the Bills this week at quarterback. I'm going to take Andrew Luck and the Colts to find a way to win this one on Sunday. The Colts have a better team, in my opinion, than the Bills. So I'll take the Colts to find a way to win it on Sunday against the Bills. Next up, Matthew Stafford and his Detroit Lions head into Hard Rock Stadium in Miami to take on the 4-2 Miami Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins at home. The Dolphins have been playing great football all year. Ryan Tannehill's out again. So it looks like it's going to be another week of Brocktober this week. Brock Osweiler will be the starting quarterback again this week for the Dolphins. But I feel like he played well last week against the Bears. So I'll take Brock Osweiler and the Bears and the Dolphins to get a win here over the Lions on Sunday. Shouldn't be that much of a problem here. The Lions are a good team, but they're not great. So I'll take the Dolphins to find a way to get a win over the Lions on Sunday. Next up, the Minnesota Vikings heading in to MetLife Stadium to take on Sam Darnold and his New York Jets. I'll be taking Case Keenum and the I'll take the Vikings to get a win here. Vikings have been playing great all year. They look good with a new quarterback, and the new offense looks good. Dalvin Cook just cannot stay healthy for the Vikings. I will take the Minnesota Vikings to find a way to walk out of here and in New York, and they'll find a way to win it with Kirk Cousins and the offense. I will take the Vikings to find a way to walk out of New York with a win on Sunday. Next up, a battle of two teams going in opposite directions as the Houston Texans head into Jacksonville to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Leonard Fournette is questionable again this week. I feel like that's the big problem that the Jaguars have right now is that they have no run game. And so Blake Bortles is going to have to do everything himself. So that's why I'm going to take the Houston Texans to find a way to win this one on Sunday. I just don't have faith in Blake Bortles. Bortles has not been playing as well as he was last year here. So I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to take the Houston Texans to find a way on defense to win this one against the Jaguars on Sunday. Next up, the New Orleans Saints heading into M&T Bank Stadium to take on Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens. As a Bucs fan, I'm going to go with my heart here and not my head. I'll go with the Baltimore Ravens to find a way to win this one. The Ravens have been playing great football all year. But I would not be surprised to see Drew Brees and the Saints find a way to win this one. I'll take the Ravens, though, on Sunday to find a way to walk out of here with a win on Sunday in Baltimore. Next up, the undefeated LA Rams coming off a tough game last week didn't play their best game. Cooper Kupp is out this week with a concussion after last week's game as they head into San Francisco to take on C.J. Beathard and the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners looked great last week on Monday night against the Packers. But I told my best friend Riley that was probably the best game we'll see him play all year. I'm going to take the road Rams to find a way to win this one and stay perfect. Jared Goff only put up 2 points for me in fantasy last week, so he'll do better this week against a much easier 49er defense than the Broncos were last week. So I'll take the Rams to find a way to win this one on Sunday in San Fran over the Niners. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys heading into FedEx Field and Landover, Maryland to take on fellow NFC East rival, the Washington Redskins. I will take the Dallas Cowboys on the road. Dak Prescott looked great last week against the Jags. Zeke's looking good. The wide receivers are finally starting to look good for the Cowboys. I will take Dallas to find a way to win this one in Maryland and beat the Redskins on Sunday afternoon. Next up, the Sunday night game as the Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton leading his Bengals in to Arrowhead Stadium to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs to bounce back after a tough loss last week in New England. I'm going to take the Chiefs at home to find a way to win on Sunday night. So give me Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to find a way to win this one on Sunday against a okay Cincinnati Bengals team. And now the final game for the weekend as the New York Giants head into Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Both teams are terrible on defense. I told my friend Riley this game could be in the 50s. Both teams could score in the high 40s this week or high to low 30s. I will take the New York Giants to find a way. I just feel like the Giants have a better defense. So I'm going to take the Giants to find a way to walk out of here in Atlanta. To find a way to win it in Atlanta. Eli Manning's going to have a good week. OBJ will have a nice week. Evan Ingram and crew. I think Saquon Barkley will have a nice week. I'm going to take the Giants to find a way to win this one in Atlanta on Sunday. And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Weekly Sports Today, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back on Thursday to make my WWE Evolution predictions for next Sunday's Evolution All-Women's Pay-Per-View. And then I'll be back Friday. Hopefully my dad will be back Friday to do our college football and NFL predictions for week number 9 of college football and week number 8 of the NFL. And I'll be back always like, subscribe, comment, share, and I will see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Weekly Sports right here on YouTube. See you later, guys.